I just know this video is going to tick some people off, but a woman should not work if she does not want to. Women live their ideal lives when they can completely depend on their husband. All most women want in life is to be at home, taking care of herself, her children, her home, her husband. Women are not meant to work, literally and hormonally. Women's bodies do not handle stress the same way a man's does. Women's fertility and overall femininity take a huge impact when they deal with stress. Simply put, women are just not meant to work the same way a man is, unless, of course, she wants to.
Welcome to the wall. Modern women were brainwashed by a feminism that promised them freedom, but pushed them into loneliness, resentment, and a war they were only fighting against themselves. They demanded equality without realizing that equality also takes away privileges. They attacked chivalry, mocked masculinity, and turned every masculine gesture into an offense. Now they're surprised that men no longer approach them, no longer serve them, no longer persist, and simply let them be the strong, independent women they claimed they wanted to be. Today, we'll see women getting a taste of their own medicine. Let's begin.
I genuinely do not think that men understand how lucky they are. Every time I open this app, I see an eloquent, well-spoken, self-care giving woman, like someone who's just pouring into themselves, doing their skincare, working out, eating healthy, learning new things, reading books. That's what's on my timeline. The women who are taking very good care of themselves. And I'm like, this is what men have to choose from? They get the pick of the litter. You guys get the pick of the litter. Like, I swear every girl I know is working on herself. Every girl I know is trying to heal some trauma. Every girl I know is like, how can I get better? And men get to choose from that? They don't understand how lucky they are. It's also shocking to me because there are so many men I feel like who just secretly do not like women. And I'm like, what is not to like about something soft and delicate and dainty that smells good and is funny and just requires food and joy and love? What's hard to love about women? Genuinely, what's hard? I'm like, it's shocking.
Stop it. Get some help.
What the fuck is going on with dating in Australia right now? When I'm overseas, like in Europe, I get asked at least once a fucking day for my number. They don't even ask for my number. They ask, can I take you out to lunch? Stuff like that. Men here, hey babes, like, could I get your snap? And could you come over at like 12 at night? Maybe I can get like Uber Eats and we can watch the footy. There's such a difference between Australian boys and European boys. European boys will cheat on you, don't get me wrong. But at least they're nice to you before they cheat on you. I don't know if it's because things are so expensive now, but these men will not pay for anything. They want 50-50. The only time I get approached in Australia is if I'm at the club. I honestly think dating apps have negatively affected dating in Australia or all over the world, but mainly in Australia because men just don't do anything.
This is actually something so frustrating to men because they hold themselves back from approaching women since they've been told time and time again that women don't want to be approached. But then here's these women wondering why men aren't approaching them while they're looking like they are having the worst time ever. Which is so frustrating because it feels like a game and meeting new people is tough enough. Especially when you don't want this to be the thing that's eliminating potentially good partners. I mean, there's already enough crazies out there, which is why I always recommend to men to do a public data check on a trusted website like publicdatacheck.com before pursuing the woman that you're interested in. Because it can save you from wasting a lot of your time and effort.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So if you ever want to know why I am still single, a little story time for you. So I was like seeing this guy like on and off for a couple months, and it was pretty casual, but like we would see each other like once a week, right? And every time I would see him, he would bring me like a little batch of flowers. Like, I won't say a bouquet, but like just a thing of flowers, the kind that you would get when you walk out of a grocery store. And I just thought that was so kind and so thoughtful. Like, I always had fresh flowers, you know? And so one night we were walking out of the grocery store together, and he just casually goes, "Oh yeah, this is where I this is where I steal your flowers." And I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm like, "He's joking." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Yeah, like when I'm walking out, I just like grab one." He was dead ass. And mind you, this man does well for himself. He can afford to buy, not that that matters, but what? So yeah, all of the flowers that I had in my house were stolen.
Many asked for equality, but didn't realize that equality also removes privileges. Men no longer make an effort. Back when men were polite and respectful, when they treated women like ladies, they started calling that toxic masculinity or labeled those men as misogynists. Sure, many women take care of themselves, hit the gym, go to therapy, all with the idea of finding the best man possible. But that's exactly what buries them, because they all think they deserve a 10 just for doing those things. The contradiction is that they feel like they're the best of the best, but at the same time can't figure out why no one is competing for them. They think every one of them deserves a winner waiting at the finish line. That's why so many men no longer bother trying to impress them and instead focus on their own lives. Men haven't stopped being romantic. They've just stopped investing where they're not valued. Men don't buy drinks anymore. They don't open doors or plan dates. Because if you act like an equal, you'll be treated like one. If you give up being a lady, you also give up chivalry.
Women.
Never, and I mean never, trust a guy who does this. Because if he does this, I don't care if you want to marry him. I don't care if you're in love with him. I don't care if you're picking out the wedding cake and you already went to Los Cabos for your bachelorette party. You gotta walk away after this, okay? You never trust a guy who, when he gets mad at you, decides to attack something personal you told him, something you were vulnerable about. Whether it's an insecurity, a private moment, that's a major red flag. Okay, so I don't care if he says, I was just upset. No. That's childish. That's immature. And if he's using your insecurities against you the second he gets mad, you got to run. That's not love. That's manipulation. That's playing games. If he can't handle his emotions without throwing your private stuff back at your face, you know what that means? He's going to keep doing it. So you can never trust a man who's going to attack your vulnerabilities when he gets mad.
Men see women who have professional careers, who are thriving in their respective field, especially if it's male dominated, as antithetical to a successful society. What does that tell you about what they think a woman's place is in the world? What they think women should be doing? How they think women should behave? What spaces they think women should and shouldn't be in? What they want the social order to be? Because it's not women having independence, freedom, and autonomy over their own lives. It's not women making choices about how they want to live outside the realm of men. They envisage a successful world as one where women are in the home, existing solely for men. To be a baby making machine, a domestic servant, and a hole to fuck. That's all they want women to be. They don't want us to be anything else. They don't want us to be liberated and educated and empowered. They don't want us to realize that we are more than just wives and mothers, that we are intelligent and innovative and creative, because then we won't bow down to them. Then we won't cater to their every need. Then we won't center our lives around what they want. So they will make great efforts, as they have throughout history, to keep us in a position of submission and dependence. That's why they want to take our voting rights away. That's why they want to take our working rights away. That's why they want to take our abortion rights away. Because women's rights threaten the very system that gives them power. And a woman with a successful career and financial independence, who knows her worth, knows what she's capable of, knows that she doesn't need men, and who loves herself because of who she is and what she can do, not for how she can serve men, is one of the biggest threats of them all. Why? Because it proves that the patriarchy is a fucking scam to control women, not the natural order. It proves that men are not inherently superior to women. And it proves just how much time and energy men have spent pushing women down and preventing them from rising up.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
Do not chase after that man. Do not chase after that man. And this video was not meant to feed your delulu. Okay, first and foremost. When men are falling in love, they often pull away because falling in love is not a beautiful, fun, happy, romantic process for a man. It's actually pretty terrifying because it requires them to have to step up. It requires them to have to think about somebody else aside from themselves. It requires them to have to take responsibility for you, for your family, potentially the family you guys have together in the future. It requires them to create an environment of stability. It is no longer a one-man show. And the mistake that so many women make is like texting him, what's going on? You're acting different. You're doing this. You're doing that. No. Close the notes app, babe. Close the notes app. Call a friend. Go do something with yourself, because sitting there ruminating over why is he doing it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter, because it's one of two things. Either he's falling in love with you or he's unsure. And both of those things, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to no. Because if he's falling in love with you, giving him space is going to allow him to be like, okay, I do love this girl, and she's respectful of my time, my space, my boundaries, not coming after me, not trying to scare me off with these emotional conversations that he clearly is terrified of because he's terrified of falling in love. And if he's unsure about you, well, it might help him realize that, like, actually, I do like this girl. Or it's going to help him realize that he doesn't. And in that case, you have provided yourself with the time and the space to focus on you, the most important person in your life, and let that man go. Stop being so attached. You need to stop being so attached to the outcome of what the relationship is going to be with that man, because it doesn't fucking matter. It really honestly doesn't. You might think that he's the end all be all, but no, you say, okay, God, if it's not this, then it's something better. Stop chasing that man.
First of all, anyone, man or woman, who uses sensitive personal information you've shared against you is trash. They're using something that hurts. Believe me, words hurt more when they come from someone you love. And women use words more than fists. Another thing, I don't know what world these women are living in, but no man, at least no man in today's world, wants his woman to stay home and not work. Do you know how expensive it is to support a woman? And with today's economy, living off one income is impossible. Every man wants you to work and contribute to the household. I'd even say men don't care about doing chores anymore, as long as thousands of dollars are coming into the house. One last thing I'll say. A single woman telling a woman in a relationship not to be attached to her man. Misery loves company. Before we go to the next part of the video, check out some interesting comments. This can partially be true. That's the timeline you've created. Believe me, there's more unhealed, not working on themselves women than there is the latter grinning face with sweat. And that's on both sides. And the internet only shows mostly good sides of people MO. Most men do love women. Most men also do the exact same things you were talking about. I think most of you choose to see the worst version of men as the norm. Not saying that we are perfect in any way, but you are expressing a very inaccurate and biased point of view. 50-50 men are just intelligent men. I cannot imagine walking into a situation with the expectation that someone would pay for me. It's so alien to me. I mean, it's same in Europe as well, just role reversed. Nobody wants to date. Nobody search for anything, etc. As soon as you mention money, you're looking for financial stability, which nothing wrong with that. Not looking for love. But there's a big difference how far a relationship will last if you're after financial stability, because when hard times hit, everything changes. If you love someone, money shouldn't be prioritized. Probably same as me been with some of the sorriest women in the world. They all talk so much smack about wanting women to stay home. But then as soon as you do, they seem so resentful about it and decide they got the short end of the stick and get jealous when it's them to suggest it. Woman shrugging. Men think we are childbearing incubators, household appliances, and slaves. That's it. There's no need to dress it up intelligently for men. They just masquerade their misogyny and narcissism as intelligence, when actually they're just awful human beings. Thumbs up. The biggest thing to hold back professional women is other women. We have all seen the queen bees. Man-hating can't hide the truth. Women want the bears, and we want you to subscribe and help us hit 1,000 likes on this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion in the comments. It's important to us. Alright then, let's get back to the video.
The I'm just a girl trend has encouraged a generation of women to infantilize themselves and downplay their own abilities. I hate to be a total buzzkill, and I'm sure a ton of people are going to tell me it's just a lighthearted joke, but misogyny is on the rise and reproductive rights are on the decline, so I'm not really vibing with jokes that paint women as helpless children. Because that's the joke, right? That women are less smart or less capable or childlike in some way. Saying I'm just a girl when you do something wrong kind of implies that a man would inherently be able to do it better. I don't think that's true, and I also don't think it's a stereotype we want to be leaning into. And furthermore, the song I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt had the exact opposite message of how you're using it. You should read the lyrics because they're really profound. Gwen Stefani writes, I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that they'll let me be. She was reflecting on the limitations that society puts on women, and she was resentful that she was viewed as less capable because she was just a girl. So to take that phrase and use it to infantilize ourselves is an insult to the original meaning of the song, and it's a total affront to feminist ideas. I know we make fun of the performative boss babe feminism of the 2010s, but at least we weren't doing this shit.
Hey, oh, I'm just a girl living in captivity. Your rule of thumb makes me worry so.
Men will stay in the unhappiest of unhappy marriages so long as that marriage continues to be convenient for him. But men in seemingly happy marriages will leave very quickly, like if she gets sick. I want to read you some comments from a thread on one of my videos. I married the nicest, most caring, chivalrous man I'd ever met. Left me penniless because I got cancer. I can't be with a sick person, he said. I met the kindest, nicest man ever, and then when I was in the hospital, he left me, no contact, and I got a letter in the mail 3 months later saying, I love you, but I've decided to divorce you. Something about how my health issues were too much for him to handle. I've been abandoned postpartum because I'm having trouble keeping up with chores. Mine divorced me when I got sick too. My paychecks dried up. I wasn't useful anymore. 15 years of that facade. I got abandoned for a spinal injury. I believed he was my best friend. We'd been together for well over a decade. Mine was horrible, life-altering, 10-month-long depression. Married 35 years, got diagnosed with lupus 5 years ago. He left last year. Mine left when I was getting chemo because he didn't feel loved. When I was in grade school, my teacher got pancreatic cancer and had a special needs son. The husband left her for a mistress during treatment. My auntie stayed with her cheating husband while he was sick and took care of him. The moment he got better, he left her and their child. 11 years, 3 living children, and 1 who passed. I had a vestibular disorder and refused to go gamble and to bars, so he cheated. He asked me to stay somewhere else to recover for my hysterectomy due to cancer because it was negative to be around me recovering from cancer and surgery. You need to understand that when men take those vows of in sickness and health, they mean their sickness and your good health.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Modern feminism demands privileges, but calls any form of responsibility that holds them accountable oppression. They talk about men who abandon women, but conveniently stay quiet about the fact that most divorces are initiated by women. 80% of divorces are filed by women, many for the very reasons we're discussing here. Sure, there are bad men. Nobody denies that. That's why we talk about chads here. But women have destroyed more men through divorce than any war ever has. And men are also abandoned when they get sick. Even good husbands get left out of boredom. A man can be married to a woman for 15 years, both of them working, and if she gets fired, he won't mind supporting her for 30 years or until she dies. But if the man gets fired, after 3 months he already stinks to her. She wants to leave him, cheats on him, or turns the bedroom into a dead zone. Why do you think there are so many homeless men or men abandoned in hospitals, sleeping on the street? when they were men who gave everything for their families. It's easy to tell the story from one side, when the other side has destroyed more marriages. 80% of divorces are filed by women. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. Who do you think suffers more from divorce? Why aren't men making an effort for women anymore? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.